Fever Pitch, a novel about selling your vision, raising venture capital, and launching your startup, which just dropped on May 28th. You immediately found yourself in the #1 category in best-selling books, particularly on startups. You've worn many hats: lawyer, Juris Doctor from Columbia, founder, executive, investor. What ultimately pulled you into venture capital? What led you to create JumpSpeed?
Make a long story short, we moved to Jerusalem from New York in the late 90s. I was a corporate lawyer at Columbia. Thought I would either stay in law or maybe get into startups, which is what drew me to Israel. When I first moved to Israel, there were a number of startups in Jerusalem. I joined 2 of them. That kind of slowed down in the early 2000s, late 90s. And I think everyone kind of thought that was over. The genesis of JumpSpeed was that in around the summer of 2013, I was surprised to find out that there was a young group of entrepreneurs in the capital that were sort of meeting in bars and pubs and talking about their startup ideas. And there just wasn't any real early stage source in the capital for those startups. And I felt that there was a gap, there was a mismatch of supply and demand, at least temporarily, like a dislocation of opportunity in the capital. And I thought somebody should kind of step in with a little bit of money and pick up some of the most exciting startups that are in this emergent ecosystem. And then I thought, well, why not me? Like, I didn't have any money, but I thought maybe I would be able to scrape together some investors to back me. It was very difficult. I thought people would just give me the benefit of the doubt, but they did not. One potential investor actually called timeout during a pitch, like literally looked down at me in a coffee shop and stood up and called a basketball timeout, stood up and said, "Ben, this is the most ridiculous pitch I've ever heard. Nobody's going to give you money. Nobody's going to invest in this. Go get a job." And it was then that I realized that I had to rethink the way I pitch things. You can't just pitch things the way you want to. You have to sort of analyze how to structure it properly. What was wrong with my pitch when I first started? What turned out to be right when I fixed it? And that enabled me to raise capital from investors with a very counterintuitive thesis. That kind of led me into the research that led to the wacky novel that I wrote that you mentioned, that basically is a story about a founder who's trying to figure out how to pitch his startup correctly, and is really a teaching tool for enlightening and educating and entertaining at the same time.